This is really funny for me. I have like 2 screens up when filming on my phone, and then I've got the laptop here for commenting, so I'm really getting used to all of it. But I think it'll work out pretty well. I'm excited to have everyone here. All right, so it's 9:30 on the dot. I think I'll get started with hopefully the final introduction. You've all heard me say it 10 times now. Hi, I'm Kathleen. But I just want to make sure everyone's in the loop. My name is Kathleen. I'm coming to you from the Maine Strong Balance Center. Many of you might already know who we are, especially since you've made it to our Facebook page. But you also might be someone who was recommended by a friend to maybe take this class, or someone who's never heard of us. So I'll just tell you a bit about that. We are a physical therapy clinic in Scarborough, Maine, and balance is something that we work on in particular, but also just all sorts of things. People come in the door for just about everything physical therapy related. So we treat a variety of diagnoses, but balance is one of the biggest things that we do here and like to bring out into the community as well. And without that option being currently available, we've figured that this is a good way to reach everyone. And we're going to exercise together today. And I think that is mostly what you need to know about us. I'll talk a little bit about finding a safe spot to do these exercises as well. And I can show you that. So my setup, I have a chair here. And I think working with a chair, you just want to have one that's sturdy and maybe no wheels on the bottom. So mine is set up in the carpet. It's digging right in. So there's no chance of it really moving as I'm doing these exercises. I also have it pushed up against the wall. When we're doing certain exercises, you're going to want to have it pushed up against a wall or really in a firm position. And then other times, we might be standing behind it and using it as like a reset button for the balance exercises that we're going to be doing. If you'd like to as well, you can find the corner of a room. We have one over here. And when we do get to the balance exercises, you can use the corner in a way that if you do become a little unstable, you can lean from left to right and you have a little bit of protection here. Is everybody able to hear me well? You can send a yes or a no in the message section, and I'll try my best to project. Okay, I'm hoping for yes. It seems maybe it's a unanimous yes. I really hope so. All right, so I think without further ado, we will get started on our warm-ups. Yes, I see it. Thank you, Joan. Wonderful. Okay, so we'll start with our warm-ups first, and everyone's setup is different, but if you do have a chair available, I think we can do these all in a seated position. Okay, so before we get started, we're going to consider our posture. You're going to want your feet to be firmly planted into the ground. So if you press down with just a little bit of pressure into each foot, you can kind of feel those muscles engaging in your legs. You can do a pelvic tilt forward just to get some, could be a little louder, good. So you can do a pelvic tilt forward to get your spine aligning in the back, relax your ribs, try to bring your torso down flat, and shoulders are relaxed at your sides. And we'll start by breathing. And as we do this, we'll raise our hands to the ceiling with an inhale, bringing hands together at the top and coming down to our center with our exhale. So inhaling through the nose, hands up, exhaling through the mouth. And we'll do a few of these. Really filling your belly with air on the inhale. And then exhaling deeply, remembering to keep pushing down into the floor with your feet. Okay, did a few of those, and next we'll do some neck rolls. And as we do these, you're going to be bringing your head around in a circular motion. And you're only going as far as feels comfortable. So if there's any pain with this, you can limit your range of motion and make small circles. And switch directions. Okay. Next, on to some shoulder rolls. So in a similar way, we're going to be rolling our shoulders up towards our ears and then down our back. And try to think more about pinching from behind than pulling up from the neck. So really think about those shoulder blades in the back coming together, squeezing tight. And switch directions, roll forwards. And as we roll forwards, still remember to pinch from behind, so getting those shoulder blade muscles active. Okay, when we are done with that, we'll do our arms and our hands. We can do them together at the same time. So for this one, you're going to bring your hand into a closed fist, crossing your arms down by your hips, and hands are coming up. Open palms. Okay, and we'll kind of do a couple repetitions of this. So closing fists at the bottom, opening palms up at the top. Looks like we're surprise happy birthday party for someone, or doing a magic trick or something like that. This one always makes me laugh. Okay, and the next we'll do our hands finger by finger. So if you'd like to put a little bit of pressure into each thumb, down from your index finger to your middle, your ring, and your pinky. So just pressing each finger into your thumb with a little bit of a pressure. Just saying good morning one by one to each of them. And when they've had enough of that, we'll move on to our lower body. And in doing this, we're going to start with the hip area. To warm up our hips, we can pick up our leg and bring it out to the side. So you can't really see my foot very well, but as I'm doing this, I am lifting my foot up off the ground and bringing it out to the side. And we're starting on one side. I don't know if you noticed, but I'm just doing the one leg to start. We'll do the opposite leg next. Okay, and the opposite leg, so same idea, you're just lifting your foot, bringing it out to the side. You can keep your hands relaxed on your thighs just as mine are. Okay, and we'll alternate between the two. So from one side onto the other, right and left. So typically we do this in a class setting, so I have 20 people in front of me. Hopefully you're one of them in there. I don't know how many people we've got, but maybe you're a frequent visitor. Miss seeing you all, of course. But one time I said to do these at the same time rather than alternate left and right, and everyone started doing this, and it was really funny. Same muscle group, I guess, so. All right, next thing, so we'll do a seated march from there, and you can do this either with your hands pressing down into your seat, lifting your legs, really just getting your knees up a bit here, trying to get your feet up off the ground, or you can get your arms active as well. We're gonna do this one for the next hour. No, we'll move on to something else, don't worry, just keep it moving for a little bit here. Get those knees up and feet off the floor if you can, just a little bit. All right, we're good with that one. And the very last thing we'll do, you don't have to stand up, you can stay seated, but I'm just pointing to my big toe. We're going to write with our big toe. We're going to imagine as if our big toe is a pencil and the floor is a piece of paper. And with our right foot, we'll write, stay healthy, because I think that's important right now. So if everybody from your seat, as if you're writing with your big toe, trace the words, stay healthy, into the floor. And try to keep most of this motion coming from your ankle. All right, and with our left foot, what shall we write? We write, stay smiling. That's a good one. So left foot's gonna write, stay smiling. Two good messages to send into the world right now. You can put an exclamation point on it if you want, if you're feeling especially enthusiastic about it. I think I am, so I added one in. Okay, and I think that's our warm-up. Very important to get our muscles ready for what we're about to do, as well as our joints and our ankle in particular. We did that last one there. Is a big joint that plays a role in balance. And we'll see that later on when we do a couple of our exercises, just how important it is. I think we should be good. I'm gonna take a sip of water and see if anybody needs some. If you want to drop in a question here or there right now. See, this is where I'm a little behind everyone else, so I'm not quite getting it yet, but bear with me. Okay, looks like everyone should be okay. If I see anything pop up along the way, I'll answer it verbally as we're doing the exercise together. But I think that we will get started on our strengthening portion of class. And we pay particular attention to the lower limbs for the most part of the strengthening. And in doing so, those are the muscles that contribute most to balance endurance on our feet while we're walking and standing and everything in between. So that's kind of why we choose to work on those muscle groups. And also any weakness in any area in the body is correlated to being 2.5 times more likely to have a fall. So in strengthening those areas, we can hopefully prevent any sort of trouble. And I think that we're gonna do it. We are gonna do it. Okay, so we'll start with our sit to stand chair for this one, pressed up against the wall, or just something that's really sturdy. And together we'll go for sets of 10, but that doesn't mean that 10 has to be your number. You can do every other, especially if you're just starting out. Really work at your own pace through these. What's important is that you're comfortable as you're doing it, you're feeling it in those muscle groups, but you're also working with good form, and I'll talk about form along the way to make sure we know what that means. Okay, getting started, you're going to kind of pay attention to those posture cues again. So feet are pressed firmly into the ground, about hips width apart. And you want to make a 90-degree angle with the floor with your knees, a little bit less than 90 degrees. So if your feet are tucked a little closer to the chair, might make getting up a bit easier. So sit to stands are mostly as they sound. We are coming from sitting up into standing. And we'll start our count after that one. I might have tricked you all, I don't know, but we'll go for 10 of these together without the use of your arms if you can. If you saw mine how they were crossed, you can cross them however you like. They can be out in front of you, or using your hands on your chair if needed, if necessary. Okay, here we go all together. Count for 10. Here's 1, 2, 3, 4. So in terms of the form, here's 5. You want to make sure your knees are pointed out straight in front of you. 6. And you want to make sure that you're coming up. 7. And down at the same pace if you can. 8. 9, last one here, one more time, and 10. Okay, our first set of those, check them off. We'll do 2 more sets, and we'll make them a little bit different as we go along. So for the next 2 sets, it's hard to see my feet here, but we'll be staggering our feet a little bit, so they'll still want to be hips width apart. One will be slightly forward than the other. And this is all up to your comfort level. So if you'd like to keep feet parallel across from each other like so, feel free. And if you'd like to go for the staggered stance, just inch one forward a little bit. This will put more work for the back leg. We'll try, same form, same idea as we do them. We'll try for 10 more. Okay. One foot is slid slightly forward. Doesn't have to be a whole mile or anything like that. Even an inch or so. Just we'll get up for 10 of these. Here's 1. 2. 3. 4. 5. 6. More than halfway there on this set. 7. 8. 9. And 10. Okay, have a seat for a second here, and I'm sure you might have figured it out by now. We're doing it on the other side one more time, one more set, and you'll be sliding the other foot slightly forwards. Again, if you'd like to leave feet just parallel from one another, stick with that. You'll get plenty out of it. That's still a great exercise. and work at your own pace. Again, like I said, you can divide these in half and work through every other, or do 8, 9, 7, whatever your number is, stick with that, and I'll count to 10 altogether, and we'll do this last set of these and then work on something else. Okay. 1, 2, 3, 4, take a peek down at your knees if you need to, make sure they're pointed straight out. 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, one more. One more, here we go, and 10. Okay, come back down out of that. You can wiggle your knees a bit if you need to. Maybe shake your feet out. Take a sip of water, as am I. We'll go into our next exercise. For this one, you can use the chair that you're working with. That's what I'm going to do here, and stand behind it for some balance. You can use a countertop, anything really stable that's in your space. Obviously, everyone's going to have a different setup, so it's hard to figure what makes the most sense. But if you've got like a countertop or the back of a chair, something that you can stabilize on. So for this exercise, we're really going to want to be like holding on, making sure our torsos are straight. We're doing side leg lifts. So for the side leg lift, I wonder how the best way for everyone to see this is. Basically what we're doing, again, holding onto the chair. For this one, we're not really working on balance as much. Well, it is a bit of a balance exercise because we're standing on one leg as we're doing it. But you want to pay more attention to getting your form down before you do it freestanding. So hold on to your chair here. You're putting all of your weight into one leg, making sure your knee has a slight bend to it so that it's not totally locked out, right? When we lock, we hyperextend, we put a little bit of extra pressure on the joint. So that tiny bit of softness in the standing leg will just help protect what we've got going on in the knee. And then we really are just bringing our leg out to the side. Might be a little hard to see from where we are, but you're bringing it out with your toes pointed straight in front of you at 12 o'clock. I say that sometimes, so toes ahead. And then your leg is just coming out to the side as you're doing it. We'll count for, you may be doing it already, sorry. We'll count for 10 of these per set on each side. We'll do a couple sets. Again, trying to keep your torso as straight as possible, holding on here for support, keeping it slow. We'll spend more time working the muscle if we're keeping this slow. And we will begin. So, leg out to the side for 1, 2, 3, trying to keep an even pace on the way out and the way in. There's 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, last one on this set, 10. Okay, good work. And just shake it out a little bit in between each of these. You should be feeling it in your outside hip, outside glute area. It's your gluteus medius muscle that we're working on, which is especially important for one-legged activities. And that includes things like walking or going up the stairs. So pivotal for balance. I'm moving my chair, but you don't need to. Just to show you, we're switching sides. We'll start again for 10. Here we go. Opposite leg, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, and 10. Woof. All right. So again, we'll shake it out, and we'll add something a little different in for the next set when we get to number 10. So on our very last rep, we're going to hold our leg out to the side. Here, let me give you a better angle. So we're going to hold our leg out to the side when we get there, and I'm going to count for 10 counts, and we're going to do little pumps out to the side for that 10 count, and then bring it back in. Okay? All right, here we go. 1, 2, 3, 4, and distance matters less than making sure you really nail the form. I think this is 7, 8. See, I lose count when I start talking. 9. Okay, well, hold on this 10. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Back into the middle. You can shake your legs out a bit as needed. And we'll switch sides once more. Same thing on this side, hold on 10. We ready? I hope so. Here we go. 1, 2, 3, 4. Remember to keep that softness in your knee. Remember to breathe. There's 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. Last one here we'll hold for. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Back into the middle. Shake everything out. Give it a rest. And we will do one more set on each side with our holds at the end. And again, with this exercise as well, with any of the exercises that we're doing, suit them, tailor them to your own pace. So if you need to do 8 maybe and hold on 8 instead, go ahead and do that. Whatever number works. Take hold of your chair and we'll count. For 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Maybe take a look at your toes, make sure they're pointed straight out in front of you. 8. Oh gosh, I think I missed it, but here, hold for 10. Count to the side. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Back to the middle. Sorry about that. It's funny, I'm so used to being able to see everyone. And then someone yells at me and says, oh gosh, we were already on 10. Okay. This is working though. It's exciting that we're able to still get everyone out and balanced. We'll do our last set on this side, and that will be all. Okay. There's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. Okay, hold on this last one for 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Back in. Shake everything out. That was great. Thanks for keeping up. And we'll move on to our next exercise. So this is again for strength, and we're strengthening the front of our shin area. So there's a muscle in there that plays a big role in being able to make for toe clearance as we're walking. So as we walk, it's really important that our toe does clear the ground to keep it from catching. So having a bit of strength there gives us more ability at our ankle. We can do this a couple different ways. Standing just as you were before, behind the chair, holding on for stability. And let me show you my toes. Lifting toes up towards the ceiling. So all of the weight is coming into your heel, and your toes are being pulled upward, almost like they're tapping the ground. You can do this 1 foot at a time if that's more comfortable. You can also do it from a seated position as well in the same way. There'll be more resistance working against you in the standing position with your body weight involved, but you can do it either way, whatever feels more comfortable. So we'll work on those for a little bit. Say we do it for about almost a minute until you feel kind of fatigued in that front shin area. So we don't really have to do a set number of these, just kind of do them until you feel like your front shin has had enough, and then you can have a seat, take a little break, grab some water. Okay. All right, so if you haven't ramped those up yet, I think maybe do your final 5, and that'll be all. And again, while we're taking a little break here, if anybody has questions, you can feel free to drop them in the comment section. If anybody missed the introduction, I'm Kathleen, and my phone is tumbling. And this is my first Facebook Live experience, so if there's anything strange going on, let me know if you need anything on that end, or if any technical difficulties are arising, because I know it happens for me a lot. Okay. Everybody's feeling ready, I will go into an explanation of what we do in balance exercises, in targeted balance exercise. The rest of the class will mostly be targeted balance exercise, and in doing these, we're switching gears from the strengthening, and we're actually strengthening the balance systems in the body. So rather than strengthening muscles directly, we're working on systems that help our brain communicate better with our joints and muscles and skin. So there's information that comes in and it gets interpreted better, and there's information that gets output and the signals are all sent better. So there's a lot of work going on in those balance systems as we do these exercises to come. So I will tell you what they look like. This is where you're going to want to find a safe space. So whether it be the corner that I suggested earlier, so here we have a corner where, if you have one available in your house or something very similar, you can set up in this way, and as we're doing the balance exercises, we might feel a little bit unstable. and that's good to some degree, but you do want to have some protection around you, so if you become off balance, you can lean into it. If you've got a chair, which is what I'll be using, you can come behind it. Use it to stabilize yourself. So I call it a reset button sometimes. So if as we're doing the exercise, you feel the need to, reach out for something, you can use the chair. It's there to stabilize you, and you can take a step outward as well, both at the same time, whatever you need to do to make sure that you're staying safe as you're doing this. I think the next thing I'll explain are the balance positions that we use. So what we're doing as we're doing these exercises, we're standing in a strange position, and that is really what gets us better at balancing in everyday life. The balance positions work in a progression. So the very first one that we usually recommend for people to try is feet together. So imagine if this was the sole of my foot, or these were my sole of my left and right foot. Bring them together, touching in the middle if you can, and you'll notice right away that that's a little bit more unsteady than a normal stance with feet apart, and the work we do there is really valuable. Again, it enhances those balance systems, so we hold these positions for a period of time. The progression goes like this. So first position is feet together. Once you've mastered it, move on to semi-tandem. You can see that feet are slightly staggered, still together. The further you go forward, the more difficult this gets. The further backward you are, the position is closer to number one. So it's a little bit more challenging as you move forward. And then position number 3 is a full tandem. So heel of your front foot is touching toe of your back foot. And that's really how they work. So from square 1, you want to master this before moving on to square 2 and then 3. These are a little funky, so if you have any questions, please do let me know and I can try to work you through it. But what we'll spend the very first minute here doing is standing in, if you know a position that suits you. I mean, you've done these before, you can hop right in. If you're starting for the very first time, I'd recommend this number 1 position and working your way from there. And this could be, you could work in this position all day today, and then maybe next time you want to test the semi-tandem out a little bit. So I'm leaving it up to you, whatever seems to suit you best. It should be a little challenging, but it should also be comfortable enough for you to stand freely. So I'll show you. Sorry for the spiel. So I'm using my chair here, standing in the balanced position, and I'm going to let go, stand freely as best I can. You can hover your hands over the chair, or if you're standing in the corner, to the sides. So do whatever feels the most comfortable for you during this time. But you should feel this little wobbly sensation, and that's the work that's being done. So, and we stand here. We do this for about a minute. And really that time investment, the more we do this, the more time we put in, is what trains our body to work better and improve our balance. I'm looking over here because we have a stop clock. Get about 10 more seconds standing in this kind of warm-up position. Again, using your chair as needed for that extra support. And you can come out of that one, okay? We're gonna switch sides here, if you're in a position where it makes sense. If your feet are together, keep them together. So continue just we're gonna do about another minute of this. Same thing on the opposite side or feet together. All right. Here's a minute on the clock. A lot of the time people ask about where their arms should be. So the further your arms are out from your body, the more support you'll have through your limbs, kind of that displacement of weight. And you see people doing that all the time when they're balancing. So it's up to your comfort level. If you'd like them to be closer to your body, then it might be a little bit of extra work, but that's anywhere that they fall is okay, depending on you. All right, I think that's a minute. Okay, so as we do these, again, work through them in the way that makes the most sense for you. We're gonna add in a couple different factors to change, the systems that are being worked on through each exercise. We'll do things like close our eyes, we'll do some body weight shifting and some head turning. So these are all things to be prepared for. And as we're doing them, the challenge level of each exercise becomes different. So really, once you choose a balance position, you're not locked in at that one. You can adjust as needed for each exercise. So say we just did the warm-up and you were working in position number 2. We're going to do eyes closed next. It is a bit trickier. Maybe you'll want to try it in position number 1 before moving forward. The idea is to be able to stand freely in the position for about 30 seconds without resetting, and that's a good indication that you can move on to the next position at that time. And that's per exercise too, so depending on the scenario. Okay, we'll get going with eyes closed. And with this one, like I said, tune your position to what makes sense. I'm going to be doing this for about a minute. So come into your position. You can use your chair as a stabilizing point to get you there. Close your eyes, and once you're comfortable, you can let go, you can hover. You really want to be able to stand freely, just to give your body the opportunity to make those adjustments on its own. The learning that it does through this process is really valuable. So it feels a little uncomfortable, see here. But overall, it's the work that you're putting in that's going to improve your balance. Remember to breathe. I just reminded myself. Okay, and come out of that one. Open your eyes. Rest your legs for a second here, and then switch sides. We'll do eyes closed on the opposite side. So take a second to get yourself comfortable, and we'll do about a minute here. Right, eyes are open, come back, hello. And we'll do a couple different things. We'll I think we've got about 15 minutes left here, so we'll do some shifting in the head turning, and I think stay tuned next week for more. Okay, so here we go with some shifting. So again, you'll be working in your balanced position, but we'll be body weight shifting. We'll start by going forwards and backwards, and as we do this, you don't have to move. I'm demonstrating. You can use your chair the same way, so just stay right behind or stay in your corner. You want to be standing freely with that accessible at any time. But as we are doing the shifting, you're standing in your balanced position, whatever that may be, and you're making all of this action come from your ankle. So forwards and backwards, almost as if your body is a straight line. It's being held up on a string. It's moving as one unit, and the ankle is doing the work. So sometimes here, people might do like from the hip or from the knee, but really you want to be straight. And all of this work is coming from the ankle. Okay, so keep up with that for a couple more seconds, and then we'll be switching sides. Again, using your chair, always for help if needed. And as we do this, our weight is hitting different points on our feet. Our joints are adjusting, our muscles are as well, so they're learning at different, different volumes along the way. All right, I think I said we were gonna switch sides a long time ago, and then I got distracted. So we will switch sides if you haven't already. We just got an extra workout in on that first side. Switch sides, and this time we'll be doing forwards and backwards with eyes closed. Again, if you need to change your position for this, please do. So with eyes closed, the forwards and backwards shifting, it does become a bit trickier. So you can move at a slower speed to start. Make whatever adjustments you need to make to get the most out of this. And you can, if need be, your toes can lift a little off the ground, your heels can lift a little. Really go to your limit here. Don't push it so far, but make sure that you're getting that motion in, but in a safe means, of course. All right, eyes are open. You can relax the legs a little bit here. And we'll do the same thing side to side. So a little bit of a different thing, same idea. Side to side shifting in your balanced position. The side to side is much more subtle, so the movement is smaller. We get a lot out of the forward and backward range. The side to side will be less noticeable just because there's less room for our feet to maneuver. But still, you want to be weight shifting from the ankle, so less of this hip movement and more just teeny tiny movements from the ankle, keeping yourself stable throughout the entire process. And breathing, again, again and always. Okay, so I just got a comment. If everybody wants to switch onto the other side, we're gonna do this one left and right with eyes closed, and same idea. So just take a moment to get comfortable. If you need to switch your position, do so. keep up with that for about a minute. I'll tell you when the minute's up. I'm gonna just verbally answer this question. So the question is, missed what the position is, wish I could see your feet. Oh man. So what we're doing, we're working in balance positions that are a little bit trickier than a normal standing position. The first one is feet together. So if this was the soles of my feet, this is how they would be set up. The second one is semi-tandem. So feet are a little bit staggered. One is slightly in front of the other. The third one is full tandem. So toe of the back foot is touching heel of the front foot. And it's up to you to choose which one you want to work in. So really depending on where your comfort level falls, and so if you're starting out for the very first time, I recommend starting here and then working your way forward. It doesn't all have to happen in one day. Usually it's over, the span of a couple weeks or so that you're really nailing that progression. But ultimately you're working in the position that you're feeling challenged. Everyone who's been shifting can open their eyes and come back for a second here. Take a rest. You can just take a standing break. So yes, really working in a position that is challenging, but it's comfortable for you. Finding that balance between as you're doing this. And I think that hopefully answered your question. If you have any follow-ups, let me know. But that's how our feet are oriented a little strangely, and our bodies learn from that. Okay, so next I think we'll do head turning. And this works on a different system in the body, the vestibular system, which some people may know of related to things like vertigo, or any sort of like ongoing dizziness. So the vestibular system is inside of our inner ear, and it helps us make sense of our surroundings related to our head position. So it gives us a lot of information about where we are in space. So we'll do the head turning. Everybody ready to resume? Here we are. So again, behind your chair, using it to stabilize yourself. And we'll do in your balanced position. I see the question pop in. I'll answer it in just a second. So in your balanced position, whichever one you've been working through, or if you want to start at square one, if this is your first time, we're just going to be head turning right and left. So you're picking a focal point on either side. And just working through that at your own pace. And I think for this question, for the most part, these exercises, the question was, if you have vertigo, should you avoid these exercises? And I think that for the most part, they would be a benefit. But if there's any sense of dizziness during, or nausea or anything like that, just take a seat, take a rest. Maybe I think sometimes people will feel a little bit of dizziness following these exercises, and that's to some degree a good thing because they're so provocative for that system. But I think ultimately it depends on the individual. So see how you feel after the fact, and if you have any trouble, let us know. Happy to be a resource in the case that you've got anything going on. All right, wrap up that head turning, and we'll do some up and down next. Okay, so same idea. In your balanced position, standing freely, hovering as needed, and looking up to the ceiling and down to the floor. You may find that one side is a little bit trickier than the other, and that's okay. Everyone's built differently, so there's different parts of that system that I was talking about earlier that allow us to look up and down, and then others that allow us to look left and right and make sense of it. So you might feel differently as you're doing this on either side. Everybody come back to the middle. Take a rest for a second. Stay at neutral. And we'll do eyes closed in the same way. So wherever your feet were for that last exercise, you can leave them there. We're gonna start on that side, and then we're going to close our eyes and look to the left and right. And I said that we're gonna leave our feet as they were, but again and always, if you need to change your position to get the most out of this, please do. If everyone, picks the position that suits each exercise best, that is where you'll get the most benefit, the most improvement. And you work through it. So this is left and right with eyes closed. Hopefully you're already doing it, but if you're not, I'm just giving you a reminder. Okay, and come back to the middle, open your eyes. We'll switch sides and we'll do eyes closed up and down on the opposite side, okay? Eyes closed, up and down. The chair helps me there, see? It's a good thing to have around. Okay. Keep going. Eyes closed, up and down. Eyes are open. And I'm coming back. I'm reading some comments here. Hi, Maddie Lou. I'm glad that you're here. Thank you for joining. And then Lori. Thank you. That is wonderful input. This is what we need to hear, because as our very first time, things are still being worked out. That is good. I think Jason might have just shut the radio off, so he probably saw. Thank you so much. It's good feedback. All right. So I think that is. I think that's all for us today with our balance. We're gonna do some stretches before you hop off, and stretching is really important. It sometimes overlooked, but really it gives us the mobility. It can give us greater mobility at our joints. Oh, I'm losing my phone again here. Sorry, everyone. But the more mobility we have at like our ankle joint, for example, we're going to be stretching the muscle that allows us their movement. The more mobility we have there, the greater ability we have to lift our feet as we're walking, and things like this. So let's do it. Sometimes I'm talking and I'm like, wait a second, we need to do this. I'm just talking. So for this one, whatever surface you've been using for stabilizing yourself, you can use that once again for this stretch. I'm going to back up here so that everyone can see fairly well how I'm lined up. So your hands are going to come to that surface. You're standing just behind it, taking a step backwards with one of your legs coming into this kind of a runner's lunge type position. And your heel, your back heel, make sure to keep that planted fully into the ground. Very important part of coming into this stretch. We're stretching our calf. And you're leaning forward now until you feel that in your back leg calf. So you should start to feel a moderate stretch there. We're going to hold this together for a little while. So get comfortable. I'm kind of resting on my forearms here if that feels good to you. Your distance, if you're, you may be closer, so you might be having hands. It's all up to your own individual body where your feet fall. And then you're trying to lean forward into your front knee, but keeping your knee over your toes as best you can. And then we hold. And you should feel this, like I said, just moderately. In that back leg, we'll hold it for a longer period of time for a moderate stretch. And when you're ready, you can straighten your front knee out, step forward, step back with the opposite leg. So we're switching sides here. Your heel is planted into the ground again. Your hips are sinking forward just a little bit, and then you're leaning forward with your torso. Front knee is hovering over front toes, and you should just start to feel this stretch in your back leg calf. Hi, Joan. I love this. That's great. I'm so glad. It's wonderful to hear. We'll keep going for a couple weeks. However things pan out, we're happy to be here and available to everyone. All right, come back up to the middle. I think that's all we'll get in for today. I think we ran over a couple minutes, but hopefully everyone's okay with that, sorry. And yeah, I'm really glad that everyone joined. We're working on our balance, and we will be for the next few weeks. I do miss seeing everyone in person, so I'm glad that this is an option, but I do definitely miss the whole class environment, so it's just a nice way to be able to reach out. And again, I'm Kathleen, coming to you from the Balance Center, and we're hanging in there. I hope everyone else out there is as well. It's kind of a tough time, but if there's anything that anyone needs, or if you just want to chat, let us know. If you've got any questions, let me know as well. Thank you for your kind comments. Oh, we have a response to Jean Marie as well. There's a good comment here popping up. All right. Thank you all again. Thank you for visiting, and you're welcome. I'm getting lots of good feedback here, so really we'll be available again for the weeks to come, and just join in here. More for the future, so stay tuned, and happy to help everyone get active from home. Get your water. Oh, that's awesome. I'm so glad. Yes, I'm talking about Cecile to Tiger. Thank you so much. I'm glad. Hi, Susan. Thank you. Oh my goodness. Wonderful to see you. Well, not to see you all, but to see everyone active on here. It's really great. Between classes. We do. I don't know in what way we could make it available online, maybe on our website. That's a really good question. Maybe stay tuned on that. Maybe we'll have a post through our page here that has that attached, because yeah, definitely for frequency, if you'd like to do any components of this workout throughout the week, it's a good way to keep yourself active in the balance exercises, they can be done like once a day. They can be done every couple days. The more time you put in, the quicker you'll see the improvements. So, yeah, good question. I think we'll definitely, in one way or another, get something out there, and we can let you know as we do. I'll hang out for a little longer to make sure everyone's got their questions answered. All right, looks like people are winding down and checking off, so I think that we'll see you soon. I hope that we will. And if you need anything, you can always give us a call. Our contact information should be listed on the Facebook page, as well as other ways of getting in touch with us. You can also message us through here, so you can send us a message if you think of anything after the class, or have any questions about upcoming classes or ways to get involved with us here at the Balance Center. Overall, I think that we are happy to be here and hope the same to you. Everybody stay healthy and safe, and we'll look forward to next time. Bye.